guys. Wait a minute. There is Sophie Akers Homestead and Kyle M. and Ken Orland. Shalom, y'all. Still not happy. Must happen to be on the tube and saw you live. Hello. There's just me. Shalom. Still not happy, says Norm Holland.
Norm, it's going to take a while before you're happy.
You're a complex fella, Norm. You're not pleased by his platitudes. Can y'all hear us okay? Landkeeper, rainy North Carolina. It was rainy here. 555 says Kyle. Good. Because sometimes the road sound is really loud.
Because we're not driving in a Mercedes that's insulated from that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, we don't have the really fancy vehicle. Howdy. I am sitting, Northwest Arkansas prepper. I am sitting in a rescue truck waiting on a record. I can hear you fine. Awesome. I'm sure there's a good story that goes with why you're there, NWA prepper.
Texting while driving would be my guess.
I mean, it's a Sunday for crying out loud, isn't it?
Kinda,
No,
right.
it's a Monday. It's a Monday. Could just be road rage. Let's see what else. Before I launch into my monologue, let's see if someone else is on here. Oh, he's handsome. Norm is very, very livid.
He's a paratrooper.
Alright, hello from Oregon.
And oregano. Hello.
Hello, oregano.
We were oreganos for like 20 years.
For a long time, and we saw an oregano license plate today, which we had on our vehicle for a long time. It's a good state to be from. Most of them are. Alright. So, I guess I'll just launch into it now. What I wanted to start off this live stream about was Pastor and I had a pretty good conversation a couple of days ago, and it was centered on the idea that we've got a generation now in their 30s who have been working on their careers and not being married, all through their 20s, figuring themselves out, learning to become adults, and for the most part, not really being interested in the typical route, as being an adult where they get married and they have kids and the lady stays home and she takes care of her children. Like the show I was watching, most of the women were independent. They were able to support themselves. Some of them had already bought houses and had a car, and they're trying to find a spouse. And so in the one relationship between the one couple, the lady's friends are talking to the fiance, and they're expressing concern because this lady has been independent her whole, all through her 20s. Now she's getting close to age 30. And the man seems to want she'll stay home and I'll take care of her. And the friends are like, well, that's not who she is. She's been, supporting herself, and she's got clients, and she's got appointments and schedules and all sorts of things. And we don't know. We think it might be a problem for her to give all that up to be married to you. And I thought, isn't that interesting?
Isn't that interesting?
Isn't that interesting? I mean, I can't fault the woman. She had been doing all this fitness stuff, and she was very fit, and she liked to go to the gym and had clients and was a Pilates instructor. She's built a life for herself where her health is good, her finances are good, and to give that up, I can see where she would think, I don't know if that's worth it. I don't know if I want to let all that go
please. I could be a yoga instructor until I'm 40.
But the thing is, if we take that, let's pretend she decides in the end she's not going to get married and she's going to keep on in her career and she's a fitness person and, you know, maybe she's got a YouTube following, whatever. When she hits 60, is it then going to hit her? I don't have a family. I don't have children. I don't have a husband who supports me. I have a lot of good friends. I
She'll
have
adopt some
clients.
Ethiopian or Haitian babies.
Let's see what you guys are starting to say. Why give it up until you have kids, says Don Schultz.
I agree.
And there's Am I Prepper? And Colleen saying hit the like button. Women don't really respect submissive Mr. Mom men, however, said Am I Prepper. So are you saying she doesn't need to give it all up? Is that what you're saying, PJ?
Until she has kids, she doesn't. She can keep working. I think once she has kids, she should be a mom.
Sure. I did the same thing. I didn't have a career, but I worked for a little while till I had children. But my point is, if we just extrapolate out professional people right now in their 30s who decide, you know what, the man can decide too. I don't want to give up what I have. I have a good career. I have an apartment. I
Man
have
shouldn't have to give up.
a truck.
Sure.
You know, he doesn't want to split that 50-50 with anybody. He doesn't want to have to support a family. What are we going to look at them in their 60s? Are they going to be sad? Are they going to think, wow, I'm alone?
What's that thing for swipe right, swipe left?
Swipe Tinder?
Tinder. They'll have Tinder for aged people.
Right. Is society going to change so much that everything caters to these people who are 60 and have lots of money now? They've built their career. They've been very successful. You know, houses for people who are single. Maybe they're not as big. Maybe they're bigger. Maybe they're more automated. Here's Landkeeper. I've always wanted to stay home and take care of my family. Even got laughed at in high school when I said in the girls' health class because it was the 80s and women should have wanted it all.
You can have it all, baby. Virginia Slims.
Sophie Akers, I worked from home when we had kids. Now I don't have to work and focus on homeschool. Instead, Norm Holland said it worked out for the Pelosi's. Oh, they're a piece of work, those two.
I think there's more going on there than
Oh, there's a
DCI.
heck of a lot more. There is so much corruption in their background if you just watch a couple of like 60-minute things on them. Too bad I made bad choices on men, said Landkeeper. Well, that does have effects. It was a wonderful blessing when my wife could stay home, said NWA Prepper. Hunter Kirk said shalom. I wish I stayed home, said Don. I went to work when he was in first grade teaching school. I'm just more interested in if our society is going to change a whole lot to cater to those people with money. I already know right now the nursing home situation. For a long time, the nursing home situation was when you needed a nursing home, you turned over all your assets to your county or state, and then you went to a county or state nursing home. But there's a booming business for upscale nursing home places.
Independent living.
And independent living places where people with a lot of money, they want the upscale version of it. And they know they can pay for it. And so his nephew actually worked as a chef in a place like that where he got paid well. The people who were going there paid well to go there. And they got to have,
well.
right? They ate well and they got to have, the swimming pools and the massage therapists and all the bennies going along with having that money. And so I can see in the future, these 60-something-year-olds who have, this one lady's probably going to teach Pilates her whole life. She's probably going to be in great shape when she's 60. Her still enjoying the things that her money have been able to provide for her. And she may not feel lonely and whatever, even when she's 60. So I don't know. See what you Ooh, there's lots of comments. All right, I wish I stayed home. Norm said a Hammer movie. You need to behave, Norm. I don't think I could ever send our kids to school. My husband agreed, says Sylvia Akers. Got married at 19, went to college, got a degree, had kids, stayed home, did work from time to time. Yes. Yeah, and after my kids were older and went back to school, I substitute taught just to, amuse myself. Didn't pay a lot, but I got to be in the classroom. And a lot of people are going to die alone, says Sylvia Akers Homestead. That is one thing that could happen. That scene from the end of the movie, The Bucket List, comes to mind. Jack Nicholson, billionaire, eating packaged food alone. Prostitutes for company. Morgan Freeman having a great home-cooked meal with his family. My mom is 95, is in a home with my sister, where we were raised to keep the elders at home and plan to keep it that way. That's pretty cool. Pauline, it's better for the elders to be with people who know them. Don Schultz. Okay, a month doesn't usually going to last forever for most folks. Daughter-in-law worked at a place like that. Real sad when they outlive their money. Oh, $6,000 a month doesn't usually gonna last forever. Yeah. Folks nowadays want more than they need. Shiny things mostly, says Ken. Overwatch says, my wife is self-supporting seamstress, beautician from Russia, old values. She fits the virtuous wife here, doing all the homestead help, mate fit. Yahweh has blessed me abundantly. Good for you, Overwatch. That's cool. Care homes are departure lounges, says Norm Holland. It's true.
If you got to be in a departure lounge, it's good to be in at least business class departure lounge.
Shalom, everyone said Canadian. I gotta lean way forward.
You can use my other phone if you want.
Oh, it's available. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. I'm gonna try to get on his phone so then I don't have to lean forward to see your comments. All right, let me go do this thing real quick. You got a video processing? Do you want me to close that?
Yeah, I already loaded that video.
Okay.
3:34. So we're only an hour away from where we were. Gas here is 3.34, and where we were, most places was 2.99.
$2.99.
But one place was 2.90. That's a difference, 2.90 to 3.34.
It sure was.
Norm's like, what are y'all convention about?
I gotta figure out how.
That's what we pay a liter.
I don't want to be on this thing. Yeah. Talk amongst yourselves for just a minute, y'all, while I try to sort this out.
Here, PJ's words of wisdom for the drive. Buy more food. I almost did a video today where I asked people, are you running out of space in your house because of all the food you're buying? If the answer is no, you're not buying enough food. Go buy more. I'm driving though. I can't get my brain focused on this.
Alright.
But you do need to have more food than you do.
I might have to say the word about that too.
You're going to bore your people to death and they're all going to leave. You either get that or just do it yours.
I'm getting it. Just hang on.
Just tell it.
See,
I know how the YouTubes works.
there it is. See, there's this thing. I can go to my own live stream and watch your all's comments and read them. Okay.
The ratings are crashing through the floor.
They're not. Would you stop being so negative?
So one of the brothers saw a huge buck on Shofar Mountain the other day.
Oh, sweet.
We haven't seen any bucks for a while.
That is very true. when they're
I
still.
think our neighbors have been poaching them.
This is membership. That's not it. We're gonna go to the live. There we go. I hardly ever do this. He normally is the one doing this. So that's why it's
Your
taking
dog
a minute.
is like,
Ooh, he's all right. Now, is it better to do it this way or the other way?
have you ever fed a dog cheese?
Yeah, don't do that if you
Well,
can help it.
And if you leave your leftover pizza on the counter and turn your back,
He's gonna
turn
use
that all the way down.
Yeah, now turn this all the way down. All right.
When you do that, it's the long button, just push the bottom part.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
That's what Azak did. He helped himself to a bunch of pizza.
Yes, he
Like
did.
half a large pizza.
He's a very naughty boy, that dog. All right, so there's some. Yep, we read those. There's a shalom, everyone. Westhold Forge. Hey, shalom, brother. I plan on working until lunch on the day of my funeral. Elders and young kids benefit greatly from being at home with each other. Yes, Colleen, I agree with that. William Keeper says, Westhold Forge, I'm with you on that. I'm on a mission from Yah. Just keep working and working. The shocking bonding love of my newborn babies and their unique personalities gave me a glimpse of God's love for us. Yeah. Hello from the mountains of Western North Carolina. Mine, all mine. Norm Holland says, blackberry wine kicking in. I got some blackberry wine. It's going to kick in next October,
Remember
hopefully.
that blackberry liqueur we used to drink in college? Came in that round bottle, that round glass thing.
I don't know if I remember a liqueur.
Jim had it. It was like a blackberry liqueur. It's almost a syrup.
Would be serving. We have run out of space and have to build a new shed for extra food, says Sophie Akers Homestead.
Good.
Um,
Oh, that's a big fire out there.
It is a big fire. Kyle M says, we come for the info, not the production value.
Good thing.
Well, thanks, Kyle. We're trying to put out some good info. And Lightkeeper came to my defense and said, I still have 14 likes. Yes, I do. All right. I don't want to learn more about that. YouTube, please stop. There we go. Don Schultz says, we are still laughing at y'all, carrying on. Karen says, too much stress. At the end of my rope, folks, I lost my health, my 2 part-time nursing jobs because I won't get vaccinated, massive prednisone doses, and last week, my boyfriend dumps me after 5 years.
Loser.
Wow, that is a lot.
The boyfriend, not you.
That's right. So this is a really good time for you to halt. Don't try anything drastic. Kind of get yourself uprighted and brushed off. Keep your nutrition up. Keep working out. And start looking for new opportunities, because when all sorts of stuff like that happens, if you're a believer, the Father's going to bring more opportunities to you. So don't lose hope. Sophie Akers Homestead, we had a moose walk through our yard. Our son got to see a big bull moose up close a few weeks ago.
So what do moose steaks taste like? Rah, rah, rah.
I think mooses are really cool looking.
They're weird looking.
Colleen says gas here in North Texas is $3.15 a gallon. See, we think the price has gone down on the gas.
Because there's a vote coming up. It'll go right back up after the vote.
Yeah, after the election, gas prices are going to shoot back up. New neighbors yesterday over the fence, 50 sheep, says Norm.
That's cool.
That's kind of, you might want to get to know them. Yeah, all that. Colleen says my son will be home tomorrow from the Army for a visit. That'll be an awesome time.
What's he do in the Army?
Karen says, thanks so much. You're welcome. Dragon Shield 1776 says, can use prayer for my wife. She's in the hospital now fighting cancer. All right. Prayers will go out for her. Westhold Forge, I'm uploading a video so my internet is all messed up. Safe travels. Well, thanks. Look at video loads. Moose is very good, much better than deer.
Huh, I've had elk. I like elk a lot. Never had moose.
I still think the Russian people who milk the mooses, the mises.
The meese?
I think they're cool. I think that would be the most awesome thing to be able to milk your moose.
Moose is huge. You might have to stand up while you milk it.
Right. Norm says his buddy owns the 50 sheep. Sweet. Does he have one of those dogs too? He's got a border collie and stuff to help him deal with them. And Rita Canavan says, love you guys. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it. All right, so now that we've discussed, it's all about me. Because I think I don't know that people are made to be that selfish and self-centered to just only consider themselves and support themselves and everything.
It is not right for man to be alone. I shall make him a helper suitable for him.
Plus, we're social beings. We do better, especially health-wise, when we have a significant other to share it with. Statistically speaking. So I think it's all about me is a pretty dangerous proposition, but that's not me saying you shouldn't take care of yourself. You absolutely should. There's nothing wrong with you taking care of yourself, but you also have to be willing and open to more than just you. And if you follow the preparedness model and agree with a lot of what my husband says, then you need to actively be trying to get involved in something bigger than you.
Well, they've done studies on people in really significant survival situations, and the ones who do better have a belief and a faith in something greater than themselves.
That's right.
The ones that only believe in themselves, once things go bad, they crash.
They crash. And then numerous historical studies and, reflecting on tribes and things that end up being successful or forming empires or winning wars, it's usually a unified culture. It's usually homogeneous and organized, like Rome.
What about diversity being our strength?
So I'm watching a documentary right now about the forming of England between the Romans leaving in 500 AD and the Norman conquest in 1066.
Wait, Norm conquested? Well, yeah, that's why he's there.
That's right. Norm whooped them all.
It's my island.
And he's going to keep it. And this woman,
King Norm. He could be the laird.
the laird, I think the king is even more than the laird.
I think
whatever.
the king is more than the laird.
That England became homogenous with their culture, but there were several different peoples all vying in that time period, including the Angles and the Saxons and the Normans.
Norm up there in
Norm
Scotland.
coming down and, in his kilt and his blue paint and jumping the wall and all that. And then the local, like the Picts and the Celts who were already there, they got together and mixed up and became more national, more British, more, sorted themselves out. So you can have diversity, but what you're shooting for with your different groups is still something that unifies you.
The Pope may be French, but God is English.
That's right. Scots had the Hadrian Wall, said just me. I believe the Romans built it
To keep
against
the
the
Scots
Scots.
over there. Yeah,
They're
they didn't want
just
to deal
me.
with them.
MI Prepper says, emptying the strategic oil reserves when it looks like World War III could be around the corner is beyond stupid. We may need to help Europe with energy, even if World War III does not happen. I believe we already are. We're shipping them oil, are we not? Yeah,
And we're ticking off the Saudis. That's a good move.
because the Saudis want to sell them fuel too and make money. Saudis
They
aren't
even
dumb.
said it's dumb to get rid of your strategic oil for political purposes.
Yeah, come on now. So the next thing I was going to talk about, because Pastor says it's just not a good idea to not have anything to talk about, was a picture I posted on the community page right after I posted the live stream. So if a couple of you guys don't mind going there and just checking that thing out, I asked a question there, and I'd like to see what you all think about that picture. Because boy, when I saw it, I was like, what?
You should describe the picture because they don't want to leave the live stream.
Okay, you don't want to leave the live stream. Fine, I'll describe the picture. And somehow I lost. No, there it is. That too. It's a picture of an ugly sweater,
that you took today.
That I took today. In America, ugly sweater parties were a thing.
Around Christmas time.
Around Christmas time, 10, 15, maybe even 20 years ago.
The person with the ugliest sweater wins a prize.
Right, and we actually did it. And the person who won at least one of our parties was our daughter, who had some hideous purple sweater with geese dancing on the front or something. In the days when these things weren't pre-produced for you. You couldn't walk in.
Yeah, now they actually make ugly sweaters.
Right, and so
it's like so stupid. It's so American.
It's
just
so
buy
commercial.
our thing. Right.
Well, not only that, they're made in China. Do the Chinese care about Christmas? No. They just want to sell
They're
things.
about that money.
They want that money. So the picture is of Santa. I think he's riding a reindeer. He's got a candy cane in his hand and maybe a witch hat on his head, and it says, "Bring the magic." And my question is there anything wrong with that? Anything at all that we would find objectionable about a Santa riding a reindeer with a candy cane talking about magic? And I will let you all enlighten me.
Do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart?
Wow, there's a lot of comments on there.
You got them.
They didn't seem up to date. Sophie Aker says a unicorn. Colleen says yes.
Yeah, I thought there was a unicorn on it too.
Unicorn sure fits today's mentality, says Overwatch, right? There are people who actually think unicorns are real because they tell their children that. They get them the toys and the t-shirts and everything. Grace Akers, glad to catch you too. Just came in from feeding the chickens. Awesome. He's riding a unicorn. They put everything questionable on that sweater. Laugh out loud. Yeah. I mean, how much more pagan could you get? How much more not God can you get than Santa and the reindeer thing and the unicorn thing and the and it's about the magic. Like, come on. All right, William Welch says howdy SK and PJ. And the thing about that sweater is also, what day is today?
Beltane or something like that?
What's today? Hey, C103. Anybody? Anybody?
All Hallows Eve.
Bingo! It's All Hallows Eve. And yet here, Walmart is selling magical Christmas stuff. It's not
Unicorns.
with unicorns. The Halloween holiday is not even over yet. And now we've got them. Oh my God, it's so much paganism. It makes my head explode.
Well, we don't want that.
Norm says Christmas was hijacked years ago. Yep, Grace Akers says, I'm so glad my eyes are open to all the paganism. Don't forget the magic mushroom references to Santa. The Bible states you never deal in magic, etc. Exactly right. Just be Halloween is satanic. Sam Hain Sowin says, William Welch, yeah. Sowin's going to be the correct pronunciation of it. Gotta maximize kitsch sales, says MI Prepper, right? I mean, it's just It's outrageous.
What's this? Caught on my leg.
It's your phone charging up. Like, it's almost like saying, all right, in the month of December, we're going to start selling 4th of July stuff. You know, it's gotten kind of ridiculous. And I can't even get upset about the crazy paganism on that sweater because I don't care. I don't care. If the world wants to get kookier and kookier, then the world's going to get kookier. There's people out here trying to
The
stand
world's
for a
getting
truth.
kookier, and it's gonna get
Right?
kookier.
There's Andrew Stanek, Shalom. I've been seeing a lot of Christians justifying celebrating Halloween. Of course they do. It's an eye opener for all of us who read the book and then make sense of the book. If you read it and say, oh yeah, it's one story. The theme never changes. The characters change, but the plot's the same. The hero's the same. But if you don't do that thing and don't understand it from beginning to end, then everything they're doing makes total sense to them. We're going to do trunk or treat. We're going to hijack this pagan holiday when the Father says have nothing to do with that stuff ever. You can't call it one thing.
Lipstick on a pig.
Right? The Father says you can't do that. You cannot mix those things. It doesn't work that way. That's why set apart is an actual phrase, meaning be different from the pagans.
But what is set apart translated as?
Anybody?
No, what's the English word for set apart? In the Bible. What's the word used for set apart in the Bible?
Holy.
Holy.
Yes, like me. See, I've got a light shining behind my head right now. I am holy. No, this is not it either. Holy means set apart.
Kodesh.
Kodesh, that's right. There's Mrs. Lovely Dudley. Yay! She's the power moderator in the room.
Power moderator.
Behave yourselves or she will ratchet you. Right. Right. It's holy. So how are you going to be set apart if you're just in there wallowing with all that stuff? I'm not doing a trunk or treaty thing on the day of Satan's holiday or his followers' holiday. Heck yeah. No. Sarah Hoskins says they defend the wicked days of the enemy, then they justify this action with his grace. Well, gosh, isn't there a verse that talks about that, Pastor?
I don't know. I'm not getting into biblical things.
All right. Well, okay. Something about should I sin more so grace abound? Yah forbid. You
Romans
don't.
6.
That's right. Romans 6. You don't keep wallowing in it so you get more grace. That's not how this thing works. Sarah Hoskins, keep reminding me. I owe you a paragraph too. You are right to poke me till you get what you need out of me.
That's what I did.
Let's get out of here. Today is Samhain. Beltane is spring. Former Dark Cider. Well, Ledwin Mayer, thank goodness you saw the light, brother. Thank goodness. Norm says, Hollywood much? Question mark? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hollywood is exactly
They're all going
that
to quit
thing.
Twitter. And they're all going to leave the country when they don't get the election. They
Oh,
always
my
say that, and they
gosh.
never do.
He brought up Twitter, y'all. Oh, whoops. Political uncorrectness running amok over there on Twitter. There's all kinds of sass happening over there right now. But it's called free speech. And you have a right to it. And Twitter before was denying that right.
And free speech isn't to protect people from saying things you agree with.
Right.
You don't need free speech for that.
No, you don't.
Free speech protects people's right to talk about things you don't like.
Right. But there can be discussion.
And
there.
free speech doesn't mean you have to listen either.
No, you can change the channel. You can go somewhere else. But there should be discussion. Dragon Shield 1776 says they shall call good evil and evil good. They sure will. Sarah says, I'm not sure how to take PJ's comment. I think that's the one about driving. Musk wants to create the Everything app, a form of social credit. Twitter is a stepping stone to that.
Yeah, just get a mark on your hand or your forehead. It'll make life so much easier.
I don't see any elk. Thing Twitter is not something you have to do, folks. You don't have to do it. You can go to a different website. You can go read BBC News or something. You don't have to be on there. No one's
They're
forcing
about
anybody.
worthless. What happened to BBC, Norm? They used to be a good news service.
Why is... Oh, I need to unplug that. All right, so we're going to enter an area where we may lose some service, but we're going to get it back. So I will stay on here, even if you see the little Twinkie roundy thing, and we will get service back in a minute. So don't panic.
Oh,
Okay, so can they all pack them and leave soon, please? Colleen says. There's a lot of tweets about that. Well, you said you were going to leave, and Elon took over. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I'll let the screen door hit you.
It's fully compromised, Norman Holland says, and
Yeah, it is.
you're right. Yeah, it absolutely is. So when you're on there, you can be on there knowing full well it's compromised. You just got to be willing to stand for what you want to stand for, and don't worry about it. Okay, so what was this whole thing about? Oh, yeah. All right.
BBC.
The BBC. No, it was about the pagan sweater and how it's...
No, now I'm back on the BBC reporters. They used to be good.
Oh, 60 Minutes used to be pretty good. They're not...
Josh Whitcomb, Lesotho, BBC.
Sure. They're all sold out. All right, I need my little notebook. I want to know what my next thing was about. What's my next point? Here we go. All right, so we talked about pagan Christianity and the way that well, we're a capitalist country.
By the way,
So-
there's no such thing as pagan Christianity, but go on.
Right. Okay. Going on to, yeah, it's all about the money here. So that doesn't mean you have to be all about the money. You be all about what you know is right, and let others be all about the money. Okay, so then I was going to go on to energy drinks. Colleen says, would you say we are in the end days?
Not yet. Right before them.
I would say I'm waiting for those two witnesses.
That's the end of the end days.
They're going to breathe fire. Everyone's going to see him die and see him resurrect. That's a key sign for this lady right here.
That's
It's going to hit hard. See what you're going to do to try to save your, what is it called? SYA? Yeah. Or get on your knees. All right, so next topic is energy drinks. The penultimate days. Sophie Akers says, is it the birth pains? He's saying, yes, it's the birth pains.
yes, I agree.
I'm saying there are some pretty weird things going on. I'm the skeptic. I'm the one who said, yeah, I've been hearing this. What was the next one? 2012 was going to be the end of the Mayan calendar. And I'm still waiting for any of it to be. We still don't have a world war. We did have a world pandemic. I'm not wishing for it. I'm just stating fact. We did have a world pandemic, though. And that, to me, was a significant event, whether people...
Do you hear Boston University came out with a version that's like 90% lethal?
Not even a vaccine.
Why? No, a strain of COVID that's 90% lethal.
Why?
Nothing bad will happen there. Oops.
Why in the
How did that
world?
get out of the lab?
Whoa, snap, Boston. Oh, man.
That's a third of the people are going to die of plague.
Yep, see?
Got to be something like that. Marburg v. Ebola mixed with
Ooh.
bird flu or something.
Terrible. Yeah. Is it possible for stuff like that to happen right now? I'm going to say yes.
Yes.
Colleen says, I hope I'm long gone before that. Norm says, Third Temple. Let's see. The spot service, but it does return.
It's a great place to live.
I call it the twirly. You're going to see the twirlies a couple of times. Hey, Shalom says, Kate's crew, that is Linda Hipple. Linda's an excellent gardener, by the way, y'all. If she makes comments about gardening stuff, you should read them and take advice. She's very knowledgeable. All right. Gas is $3.13 here in Central Texas. Propane is $4 a gallon. Used to be $2.39. Yes. It's very nutritious. It's got all these vitamins and things in it. Also, a heck of a lot of caffeine. And you're going to need to stop drinking that. And had heart attacks.
That's because they had it.
And I thought mine was I didn't really caffeine content. It had a lot of nutritious stuff in it, but it was still too much caffeine. So be careful if you drink energy drinks. They're not great. And hoping you guys will come on back into the chat. Ledwin Mayer says it's not the end days. Warm-up bands are playing. All right. Gas in California is $7 plus.
Why anyone still lives in California is beyond me.
Lone Star Living is here, and he's a moderator too. Caffeine and energy drinks a while ago, someone said. An energy drink 8 months ago.
Because of where we are.
Yeah, it's from where we are. It will get better. It just goes on and off for, like 15 minutes until we get back to close to a city. So
Drive.
I'm gonna stay on here. I'm gonna stay on here throughout the wonkiness and until we get to an area where we just lose service altogether, which will be in about 20 minutes. Colleen says never had an energy drink. We had a mass exodus from our California, Ontario. Someone said.
Ontario, California is north, right? Northern California?
No, she's in Canada. So their equivalent to California is Ontario. Now we have a bunch of whiny city folk in the boonies. This winter should be interesting. I think you should make a big fire, put your Dutch oven on it, and just watch. Maybe take some video of the
Make
whining
something delicious
and moaning,
like a roast or a cobbler,
and just sit there with your snowman or your snow fort and your children and watch them
and your
whine
Canadian whiskey,
and say hello to the moose as they walk by.
because they're delicious.
I think that'd be a hilarious movie. Maybe you should make a movie. Soapy Acres. I call coffee wake-up juice, only tasted energy drinks, and was never a fan. Coffee's guilty too, y'all. I'm sorry to say that, but it can make your blood pressure go up as well, especially if you drink tons and tons of it. Moose roast, said Soapy Acres Homestead. It's another one of those things I want someone to 3D scan for me.
I would like to
send
try
us
a
one?
moose roast.
Yeah,
yes, I would.
Just Xerox that
Some
boy.
mashed potatoes.
I'll do the mashed potatoes and maybe the Brussels sprouts. You just send the meat.
Moose roast. That sounds good.
Oh, which reminds me, food-wise, we always end up talking about food.
I know, and
Humans
I'm starving.
talk
I've had
about
like
food.
3 handfuls of nuts and raisins today.
Who has been offering you food, though? This lady. And he says no.
She offered me salad while I'm driving. Come on.
You can do it. It's in a cup with a fork. I didn't spill any on myself. You can do it. I also gave you banana chips. All right, look, I do have little chicken salad crackers. I'll
I'll eat
bust
those
one
after
out.
we're done.
Right, I'll bust them out for you in a minute, Tarzan. Okay. Soapy Acres, I don't drink energy drinks and only 2 coffees a day.
I only drink 2 coffees a day, but they are this big.
Canadian Crusader says, I would say British Columbia is,
BCE.
hang on, is our equivalent of California. Norm says a moose in Scotland is a mouse.
A mouse.
What's a moose? Running across the floor?
It's a mouse.
In
In the heath.
William Welch says there's plenty of room for many of God's creatures right next to the mashed potatoes.
and peas, yeah.
And then Red Prepper just gave me $9.99. Thank
you.
you very much. Bless you. That's very kind of you. just wanted to sponsor a few miles of the chat.
Thank you.
Look at that. He bought us 3 gallons of gas.
Yeah, he did.
Wow. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Sophie Ickerson says she can feed you. I do that for hubby all the time. Yeah, my hubby's not always down for me trying to salad in his face while he's driving. I think it's a little too claustrophobic. A moose running in the hoose. That's right. Speaking of mooses in the hoose, we had a moose doing a whole lot of damage in our hoose, and so I set a trap and caught it. Yes. Moose 0, Sister Kate 1. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else I had on here. So just beware the energy drinks and the sodium content of some food that you eat. Oh, Sophie Aker said, at least BC is staying in BC. I thought you were going to say, what happens in BC stays in BC. Okay, so we
You know, when you've been driving 80, driving 45 seems very slow.
Yeah, it's one of those.
This guy just can't do it. So,
Nope, he just had to keep going. Nah, but he just slammed on his brakes. So he just had to get past us. And now he feels bad. Talking to our diesel supplier, no truth to actual East Coast shortages, just greed. Well, no doubt. They cause these shortages in order to get more money for whatever. Glue traps should be on a preparedness list or a very good mouse or cat.
you can't reuse a glue trap, though. I mean, that's why you need mouse traps. You can catch many mice with one mouse trap.
Or many cats, because they can catch many mice.
Oh, God, now we're getting to the Huffy Puffy dog.
Norm Holland said, nice job. Thank you. I'm assuming what? About the
Catching the
accent
mouse?
or getting the mouse? That's right. Getting the moose.
It looks like they're all back. See, they were on some kind of vacation or something.
Well, it was Sunday to Monday. That's Mario back there. Visited Victoria, BC in 1979 while all the flowers were in bloom. Probably the most beautiful place I've ever been.
Where's the most beautiful place you've ever been?
Where's the most beautiful place I've ever been? I've been to a lot of beautiful places.
I know, right?
There's a beach in Bermuda that was absolutely stunning.
I was thinking Hua Hin in Thailand in the early 70s. Pristine white beach,
Right.
nobody on it.
Clear water,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. That's beautiful. I think where we live now is beautiful.
Me too.
It's rugged as all get out, but it's
Yes,
pretty.
it is.
Nova Scotia is beautiful. New Brunswick is amazing. Hey, Sue says rat snakes work too. It's true, rat snakes work on mice, but they also like eggs and chicks and things. So you gotta use those black snakes, not sparingly,
Judiciously.
but judiciously. Yes, they must be applied in an intelligent manner. Okay, so last thing on my list, last topic is I got a couple of tips for healthy eating for you all. 2 things that are really good for my gut system that I think are going to be good for your gut system. One is dried, he knew it was coming, dried greens, kale, Swiss chard, any leafy green cabbage.
Where do you buy dried kale?
I make it myself.
How?
I go pick the kale leaves off the plants in the garden, and our kale leaves were almost gone from that drought and the goats and the deer eating the leaves off. And then we got that rain, and I fenced to make sure nothing could get in there and eat them, and they're growing kale.
How do you
leaves
dehydrate
again.
them?
So to dehydrate them, I take them and I put them in our solar dehydrator. But if you don't have one, just, put them on a tray in your oven on a low temperature for a couple of hours.
Or you
until
can
they're
put it in your
flaky.
car in the sun.
Or you can put it in your car on a tray in your, that thing called?
Dashboard.
On the dashboard. Excuse me.
You gonna live?
It's because I just ate something. On your dashboard with the sun shining on it, and that will dehydrate that. Well,
it's all right. We're good.
There's more up
I
here.
know.
Yeah, you can do it. And so if you put those dried greens on your food, it keeps your.
What kind of food do you put your dried greens on?
I put it on everything. I put it on ice cream. They don't have enough flavor. If you it's
She
flaky.
sprinkles dried
right?
greens on Haagen-Dazs.
It looks like parsley. It has zero
Talk about a
effect.
contradiction.
Has no effect on the flavor. You can put it in soups. I put it on steaks. It keeps your gut system regulated, so you won't get constipated by foods that normally would constipate a person, like nuts or meat only. The greens, even just like a teaspoon of it, will take care of that issue. And so does raw olive oil. Ooh, cool orange car. The olive oil has to be not cooked. You can't like cook your french fries in it and have the same effect. But if you just have raw olive oil, like with some garlic in it and some
I love garlic.
Basil, and dip a little bread in that, or if you make
Now
your
you're
salad
talking
dressing,
about bruschetta.
or caprese salad with the mozzarella cheese slice and some tomato slice and then some olive
Of course, you're
oil
talking about all this delicious
on
food.
basil on it. If you just eat that, olive oil does the same thing to your gut for most people. And so instead of, suffering or trying to take some medicine that's going to really jack up your system, I mean, we've even tried tea that's supposed to do that, and it's not a normal thing. It it spasms your colon or whatever. Those two things are excellent. And the doc today, who was telling me to stay off the energy drinks, said basically all my other numbers were good, except a little bit high on sugar, but we've been eating a lot of ice cream lately because of all the health stress, and I knew that was going to be bad. It's more than we normally have. And another little tip that she gave me for us older folks, how many of you out there have gray in your hair? Your joints and things do worse if you don't move them at all. It's better if you move them, and it takes them a bit longer to recover than when you were younger, but the recovery does happen. So I'm just throwing that out there. Even for you young folks, you're going to be our age. You can take moves to make this stuff not a problem for you now.
This
All right.
person is driving me
Crazy.
I don't have enough room to get, honey, I got it,
Okay.
to get around them.
Oh, there's Steve Wilson, One Old Man, and yeah, that's all I got, Gray. He's a channel supporter too. Thank you, Steve. Vitamin E is great for your entire gut system and cells, says Sarah Hoskins. Add cheese and garlic to taste to the olive oil. Snakes are good to get at rodent nests. They are, a lead one there. And Sophie Aker says, I don't like Swiss chard either. Kale and collards are my favorite. There you go.
I love Swiss chard.
I love all those greens. They are wonderful things.
Curly dog.
Curly dock, just green salad does the same thing, but I'm assuming this is for people who don't like normal green things like salad.
That's not food. That's what food eats.
That's right, and only want to eat meat and potatoes. I'm sure that's not good for your guts, and so you can do this, just sprinkle a little stuff and it'll help. Hey, Sue says Swiss chard tastes like dirt to me. Is that just me, or do I need to do something else? Wash well, but it doesn't have a lot of flavor. Oh, we got a phone call coming in.
Don't worry about it. A what call?
A phone call.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just ignore it. Decline. Decline, not answer.
I can't. It didn't happen anyway. She hung up. Swiss chard braised slightly in olive oil with some red wine vinegar is delicious. The thing about hello says Brand, it doesn't have a very strong flavor. So just flavor it with something.
Like Haagen-Dazs.
Yeah. Yeah. Jerusalem artichoke are delicious and prolific, says just me. And what else is going on? Ever since my gut infection fermented, everything is my friends. My guts are still finicky now, says Sarah Hoskins. Mine have finally leveled out. They're doing fine, but yeah, fermented food is good for gut problems. Things like
Probiotics.
sauerkraut and kombucha,
Kimchi.
prebiotic drinks,
Kimchi.
kefir, all that stuff helps
Bibimbap.
you get the correct amount of bacteria and everything in your gut.
Now I want kimchi.
I know it's cruel. Kale and ice cream, says Don Schultz. Yes. My kale got munched, but it's coming back to life. Apple cider vinegar and water is a good drink for sugar balancing and gut cleansing. And Bragg's now even makes prebiotic drinks with their vinegar in it, and they taste pretty good.
It's a lot cheaper just to buy the vinegar and add it to water.
I'm just saying. I got kimchi. I don't like it, says Sarah.
There's a whole bunch of different kinds of kimchi.
Not only that, Sarah, it's not something you want to just eat by itself. It goes really good with teriyaki meat and plain rice and macaroni salad all together.
You're talking about a Hawaiian plate lunch.
Yes,
now.
I'm talking about a plate lunch, and you have the teriyaki's a little sweet, the kimchi's a little sour. You got plain rice to kind of balance it out, and then the
Macaroni salad.
Macaroni salad is like a mayonnaise one, and it's kind of bland.
I wonder if they still make plate lunches in Hawaii. I'm sure they
I
do,
bet
right?
They do. They're so yummy. I need to make one of those.
You do. You need to make me
Talking about it. Ooh. Yeah, winter kale got munched, but is recovering. Ours too. Love sauerkraut and kimchi. I love potatoes, like mashed potatoes with hot dogs and sauerkraut. The meal. I'm not saying mix them all together, but I'm saying having them side by side, because you have a salty and like a bitter and a bland, and you throw some ketchup. Now you've added the sweet, and it's a pretty tasty meal. All right. Kimchi is so good. Yes.
I like the radish kimchi, the crunchy kimchi.
Yeah, and your very standard kimchi is kind of hot and it's kind of peppery and strong, but there are other kimchis. There are sweeter kimchis and not as strong kimchis.
They all have garlic. They're delicious.
Fresh sauerkraut is so much better than canned. It is, and you can make your own sauerkraut really in a quart jar. I mean, it's just salt and cabbage fermented. It's a really simple process, and it's pretty tasty. I made that one this summer that had dill flavoring in it too, and cucumber slices, and I've had more than one person taste it, and they really liked it. Cabbage, potatoes, carrots, onion, garlic, whatever kind of meat you can put in a broth or tomato sauce, it tastes so good on a cold day. It sure does.
I think it's considered poor people food, but man, when a meal starts with cabbage and onions, I don't care what you're making, it's gonna be good, right?
Right.
Can I get an amen? I just love cabbage and onions. We don't eat enough of that either.
Right? Stuffed peppers, delicious. I'm very late. I see hello from New Mexico, says Barbara Middleton. Hello, Barbara.
Barbara, I have heard that Santa Fe is a big artsy place. Do you know that to be true or false?
Norm says fried onions and garlic. Add the meat and the potatoes.
What's not to like? It's going to be a delicious meal right there.
Right there.
I could eat a lot of it.
We also found out
Potatoes and milk.
Yeah, potatoes and milk.
Just potatoes and milk.
So I haven't been eating a lot of potatoes because meat and salad thing going on. House, and so I think that's affected my iodine intake. So I'm going to start upping the potato game.
Now, is the iodine in the potato or the potato skin or what?
You know I'm going to use the whole potato, so we're going to have that covered.
Regardless, that's right.
And I think it's better if you eat the potatoes just by themselves, not with the meat and the salad deal. So we could have...
That's the Irish in you coming out.
No,
Potatoes alone is a fine meal.
No, I think someone said nutritionally that's the better way to do it.
I don't know about that.
Just made cabbage, onions, and pot roast last night with Kyle M says Santa Fe is artsy fartsy. And then from the Germanic folks here,
Ein Prosit, ein Prosit.
I don't know what he's talking about because I'm
Said
not
German
Germanic. All right, we'll give the live stream. Most of the nutrition in spuds is in the skin. Yes, we do know that. So is Taos, New Mexico, artsy fartsy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We'll give.
Is it Taos or Teos?
We'll give the live stream about 5 more minutes.
Okay.
And then we will be done. Simply because we get tired of it. It's hard to be this stimulating and entertaining over a long period of time. All right. So, comments, questions? Kate pronounced it correct, said Barbara Middle.
Taos?
Taos.
Like Laos.
That's right.
Except I learned that the people from Laos say they're from Lao.
Lao.
The S was added and it was Americanized. The French spelled it Laos but pronounced it Lao. And then the Americans got a hold of it and called it Laos.
We don't know nothing. Garcon.
Garcon. Check.
We had smoked chicken steak. Whoa, hang on. Do we ever watch the series The Colony?
Didn't you watch that?
It sounds familiar.
No, a long time. Is that the one where they have like some big electric fence around it or something?
We had smoked chicken steak, potato salad, and
What is a chicken steak? In my mind, there's steak.
and beans for dinner.
Chicken.
It was so good. Have you guys ever watched the series The Colony? We might have. Safe End of the Journey. Speak soon, says Norma Holland. What's The Colony on? Is that Netflix or Amazon or YouTube or what?
Tubi. Waiting.
Look it. He's ready. He wants to be home. He wants to get out and stretch his legs, have something to drink,
E and me both.
right? Thirsty, hungry.
Yeah.
It was volunteers put in apocalypse type scenario to survive, not a game show. Yes. That's the one where they made
the trebuchet and stuff.
the
Yeah, I didn't like it.
biodiesel
Yeah, I
from
didn't
the
like it.
dead pigs.
See, the whole
and
thing
stuff.
about reality shows is they're not. And those contests aren't.
They do script it all. There
Yeah.
was a few interesting things, like the guy with the drug that ran off the wood and things like that. But that was a while ago, Dragon Shield.
That was.
That was a while ago. Let's see. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's it. Pastor's done. His fun meter has been pegged. So we will say shalom to you all. And thank
Cheers.
you for coming to the live stream. I would always appreciate when you comment and ask questions and add to the talk. Give your little tidbits of wisdom and so on. And we are going to finish our travels and see you
Later. Out there.
yeah. All right. Shalom. They said season 3 they accidentally killed a guy.